Hello, America and curling fans from Canada and Newfoundland. This is your host, Ryan Olson, with the second place tiebreaker from the 2026 DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships. Uh, we are doing a tiebreaker for second place to uh, A, have another game on the ice, and B, there's a possibility that we, as a region, MoPac, could send a second team to mixed nationals, and so we are doing the tiebreaker to establish who that might be, and it is going to be between these two teams on the ice right now. Team McBride, who is throwing the first rock with Amy Verway Cohen, and Team McDonald from Coyotes and Wine Country. Team McBride hails from OC Curling and San Francisco. Rocks in play, we are underway. We are on sheet 3 for this game, and the reason why we're on this sheet is because um, both McBride and McDonald played their last game on either sheet A or sheet B, and those are the better camera sheets, but for the sake of fairness, we are on sheet C, and we do hope that you will uh, be with us for this game as we see Brian Feldman Jr. get set for his first rock. Teams have 30 minutes of thinking time per team. That's the time between when they get control of the ice to when they start their delivery. As Amy's first rock slipped into the rings, not an uncommon strategy as we've seen this weekend. And Feldman Jr.'s rock is also going to go into the rings. And McBride has the broom down for a possible takeout or a draw. I'm going to guess a draw. It's early in this game. And they have one in the rings. They don't have the hammer, so they're looking to establish control of the center of the ice. If you guys, oh, they are going for the hit. So that's another way to establish control of the ice. Hit it. So there's two in the rings for Team McBride. Uh, Andy McDonald, the skip for Team McDonald, has the broom down for takeout. Maybe try to set up a double with the clockwise outturn rotation. I'm trying to get one. Is it going to get two? Nope, just the one. And then the shooter also rolls away. If you guys have any questions or comments or feedback, let me know in the YouTube chat. That's what it's there for. I know. So we see the second for this team at Bride. This is going to be Cameron Ross. I've seen these players a lot over the weekend. I shouldn't sound so surprised. Like, oh, it's Cameron Ross. And looking to put up a front stone. And that will settle in front of the shot rock in the top 8 foot. It is hittable. Looks like it covers about half of the shot stone, but not a bad shot. As we have Jennifer Collins with her first. So three of the players for Team McDonald are from Coyotes. Brian Feldman Jr. is the odd man out from Wine Country, and that is a double takeout. Brought to you by, you guessed it, our title sponsor, DoubleTakeout.com. Brian Feldman Jr. hails from a wine country up in Northern California, just outside of Sacramento, as Cameron gets set for his next rock. And a hit and roll there. Mission accomplished. So we've shifted into the takeout game, which happens a lot when we draw into the rings early and an end. So McDonald, I think, would be happy to blank and carry the hammer into the second end and beyond as Jennifer delivers her second stone. Oh, need to change the cameras. That hit was made successfully. So we have the third for McBride pushing out of the hat. This is Claire Blasky throwing lefty. And that hit was made. So again, trading hits back and forth as we see Darren Campbell in the hat for Team McDonald. And again, going for the intern hit. It's going to roll. Where does it end up? It's going to end up in the back of the 12-foot, 4 shots. That's where. During the end break, we'll talk about how these teams got to where they are, and we'll talk about the champion of the event, Team Coleman from San Francisco. As Claire's hit is made, but the shooter rolls out. So we are on a train for Blanksville, and I hope you'll meet me at the station. As we see Darren's second stone, looking to dial down the weight, looking to draw, looks like to the side of the 12-foot, using that McBride blue as some cover. Looks like a little up weight though. This might be going through the rings as Claire jumps on the stone, pushes it to the back 12. These are new stones this season at San Francisco. Looks like they've been playing fairly consistently. Uh, I've heard that they glide pretty well, but then when the weight comes off, they do settle down pretty quickly, as we've seen. So we are to skip stones, and we have Justin McBride from OC Curling getting set for his first without the hammer here in the opening end. I was just thinking about their bios, and I think if we had an award for best bios, I think McBride and McDonald would be in the hunt. Although I think one other team submitted like a an entirely fictitious bio, which is funny. Uh, as McBride makes a hit, and the shooter looks like it might be hanging onto the edge. And so it gives a little bit of a pocket for McDonald to draw into with her uh, first shot. So I think they might draw. They could also hit. I think they want to hit. So they want to make sure that blue goes away, that they're sitting shot, and force McBride to make a tricky shot, and then see if maybe McDonald could get 2 points out of this situation as she gets set in the hack. Looks like takeout weight. It hits, and the shooter's going to roll towards the center in the back 12. Good shot there from Andy. So Justin's going to do a hit, and then McDonald's going to have a hit and roll away for the blank. Last shot's away. Weight looks a little wide, but they're going to get it right on the nose. Good shot there from Justin. And so now McBride puts the broom down pretty quickly for the hit and roll. Looking at the best way to roll out, and that makes sense to hit on the inside. So they have it works either way actually. As we can see the situation in the house. Last rock, the hammer coming from Andy McDonald. Looks like they're going to hit close to nose, but it does roll out. They hit on the other side, but the shot works. That is a blank, and Team McDonald will carry the hammer to the second end. Minute pause in the action. We will be back as we continue with our coverage of the 2026 Mixed Fours Playdowns, coming to you on the curling.gg network. And ongoing coverage of this event is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. One moment. Cool. All right, doubletakeout.com. Throughout the competitive curling season, proprietor Calvin Pomeroy updates the site with the latest stats and rankings to create a unique way to look at the top men's and women's teams from around the world. More at doubletakeout.com. And by curling.gg, proud to be an official sponsor of Team Canada's mixed doubles champions Brett Gallant and Jocelyn Peterman, and by Endgame Curling. Elevate your game with Endgame Curling and learn more at endgamecurling.com. All right, we are about to get underway here in the second end as we see Amy throw the first rock. So while the rocks are in play, let's kind of talk about how teams got here. As it looks like Amy's going to throw into the rings. So need to pull up the right sheet I need to use for reference. All right, so Team McBride went through a pool play, a round robin play. They were doing really, really well. They were 6-0, and then they kind of ran into a bit of a buzzsaw in their last two games of round robin play, as Brian Feldman Jr. makes a hit and roll. So they were undefeated through 6 games. Then they played McDonald, and it was they were up until it was tied. Well, no, so they came back. Apologies. In that McDonald game, they came back, and then they were tied in the eighth end, but McDonald had the hammer, and McDonald scored that single. I apologize. They were not tied. They were down one and needed to steal to tie or win, and McDonald got a single. That's what happened. And then their last game, they went up against Team Barajas from San Francisco, and Barajas just really had a solid game, and it was early game for McDonald. So McBride shaking hands at after after a handful, after five. As we see the next direct coming from Feldman, and trading the hits back and forth. So for Team McDonald, McDonald had a bit more of a mixed campaign as I pull up her record. Um, won three, or well, she won four out of the first five games. Went up against Team Coleman, which was the eventual champion of the event, and Coleman was able to break the tie to win in eight ends. And then after that, McDonald went the rest of the way undefeated. There was an early loss to Endicott, so that both teams had two losses, and that's how we got to the second place tiebreaker. Um, Team Coleman with one loss was the outright champion, and both McBride and McDonald had two losses, and so that sets up the tiebreaker that you see here. As we see Jennifer push out of the hat, pretty sure we might be headed to another blank. Both these teams, and Coleman too, have a lot of experience under their belts, uh, several national appearances and some world appearances amongst some of these teams. We'll get into their resumes probably in the next end. Uh, we won't be going around the rings for coverage because there's no other game on the ice. This is the game. Um, so we see Cameron get set for his second rock. So while we're talking about team records, let's go over Team Coleman. Skipped by Gabrielle Coleman, Vice Connor Robertson, Abby Lynn the second, and Neil Hunter Smith the lead. Went through pool round robin with a 7-1 record. Their only blemish was a loss to McBride, 10-4. So that really does kind of show some of the pedigree of this event, where all the top teams were able to kind of at least ding the other top teams to an extent. But in the last game, uh, Saturday night, went up against Team Endicott, was able to jump ahead of Team Endicott and was the eventual 6-2 winners to secure the outright championship. And as the MoPac champion, they are our regional representative to the Mixed Fours Nationals coming up in mid-April in Denver, Colorado. So congratulations to them. As Cameron drew in, and Jennifer Collins wasted not a wit to pluck that out. And we are to Claire's Rocks. And this is looking like hit and a slight roll. Maybe a bigger roll than I was thinking. As it's going to go to the back to the 12 foot. And it does not hang on. So Darren Campbell's going to have a free look at the house. Going for a draw as the sweepers are on it. And that will end up just in front of the tee line on the 8-foot circle. So McBride has the broom down for a takeout, and Claire quickly slides out with that shot. And this is going to hit and nose. So Darren is sliding out. We're moving very quickly, folks. Thank you all for tuning in. I definitely appreciate the viewers. We're here for you guys. We're also here for the teams to help showcase the best of what our region has to offer. As we see Darren's hit and roll to the back to the 12-foot. That one is, oh my goodness. I don't know if that's in or not. Looks like it might be hanging on. We'll have to see if it comes into play. So the broom is down for the takeout. As Justin McBride gets set. And this looks like it's on target, going to hit and jam the yellow back on the blue that was on the back of the sheet. But the blue shot stone shooter sticks around to be shot. It's fun to say 5 times fast. And McDonald is going to hit and roll out for the second blank in the second end as she pushes out with the hammer here in the second end. We're going to see the hit, and it sticks. So that was her first. That was not the hammer. That was the nail. I apologize. I lost count of the stones. Oh my gosh. Uh, it's not that early. I don't have any excuse. So she wanted to hit and stick. That worked out really well for Andy McDonald. As we have McBride about to deliver another hit, hoping to stick and then kind of force McDonald to, I don't know, make a little goof, which I thought she made, but she did not make. I just need to pay more attention. And that's going to hit and roll ever so slightly towards the center line. And McDonald will have a pretty open hit and roll again to blank. This is the hammer in the second end. Again, I'm sounding so surprised. This is the hammer in the second end. Working to push it over. It's going to chip it, and the shooter's going to roll away. That is a well executed hit and roll for the blank. So McDonald will again carry the hammer to the third end. We are all square at 0-0, and we'll be back with more coverage when we come back to the 2026 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships. Rocks in play. We are underway in a scoreless game between Team McBride from OC Curling and San Francisco Bay Area Curling, taking on Team McDonald, the pride of Coyotes, also Wine Country Curling. And I say that with a little bit of a chuckle, but uh, just because of the swagger, she's done really well for herself. And there's a lot of great curlers from Coyotes, and Andy McDonald is one of them. As we see the setting shot coming from Brian Feldman Jr. And that's going to draw around. So going to provide a target for McBride to draw on top of, should he choose to accept this impossible mission after Amy put up a center-ish guard. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com, offering a unique way to look at curling statistics of the top men's and women's teams from around the world throughout the competitive curling season. Proprietor Ken Pomeroy creates a unique ranking so you can see how your favorite team ranks up against the rest of the world or also amongst their fellow teams from within their own country. So you can see how U.S. stats against U.S. Various other factors, all at doubletakeout.com. So Amy drew to the top 8 foot, and Brian Feldman Jr. is going on the attack, looking to pop that out. Going to nose hit. That's going to roll away. So Cameron's second rock. Looking to, I think, draw on top of the yellow in the back. Trying to curl it over a little bit more. They don't want to necessarily go all the way back, although they will. It's a well frozen on top of that McDonald's yellow. So that's not a it's a really good outcome for McBride and Cameron Ross. So looking at drawing on top. So we've gone from hit the first two ends, and the key to this end appears to be draw, draw, draw. As the line looks pretty good. Weight looks a little up, but like I said, the weight's been kind of tricking me all weekend. Got a little bit of a tap there. Good shot there by Jennifer. So it creates some separation between the blue and that back yellow. So now McDonald would be able to tap that blue out more easily should they have an opportunity. As we see Cameron slide out with his next stone. So we had 9 teams in the field, and we were able to set up a full round robin. So that means each team played 8 games. And I think if you asked anyone who played those 8 games, they would say it was a lot. It's more than what most bonspiels or tournaments offer for the field. So it was very unique to see, although it definitely required all the teams to be at the club for every draw. I'm kind of used to that with these broadcasts, but it was kind of new, I think, for a lot of those teams. That was a great shot there from Cameron. A well executed tap back. to have McBride sitting 1 and 3. McDonald has a second yellow. So, and actually, Kevin, the competition chair, was telling me that they looked at another option, maybe doing pool play. It would be kind of an uneven pool with 9 teams. But he said 6 out of the 9 wanted to do the full round robin. So he gave them what the people wanted. As Jennifer's rock wicks off the blue and rolls wide. So it looks like McBride could take that on, but he's asking Claire to draw, I think put up a front stone. So right now, McBride is sitting shot, and I think he would like to secure that advantage. This is looking like a tap and roll, perhaps, but it's going to actually tap the blue back, which makes sense. Um, Taps the shot stone back to third position. So right now it's McBride sitting 1, 3, 4, and McDonald is sitting 2 and 5. So lots of rocks in play this end. This is a stark contrast to what we saw in the first two ends. And that's why we play the games. Every end's different. Every shot can change things up dramatically or not, depending on how things are going. I've been in games where it's like there's nothing you can do, and that's kind of one of the worst feelings. Uh, but not today, not today, my friends. As Darren shot, looking to, I think they wanted to tap the blue. They do slightly, and then the shooter's gonna roll to. I saw both Stoops' brooms kind of interact with each other. I don't know if they touched, but that was kind of funny. So just narrowing the scoring circle, this situation would tend to favor McBride, um, but also would tend to favor whichever team I think kind of gets to the front of the 4-foot circle first. As we have Claire going for, I believe, another draw. So there's not going to be a blank this end, that's for sure. I don't know if they're doing a tap back. This looks close to the same weight as her first. This looks like it might just tap slightly and then roll towards the center. It does. And McBride is shot still, although that's with the shooter. The situation, the rings looks like it's McBride 1, 4, 5, 6, and the McDonald 2, 3, 7. And the fact that I counted that high means there's a lot of rocks in the rings. So I know YouTube viewers were telling me last night that they can't hear what they're saying on the ice, and I can't either today. I think the views I pulled in don't have it enabled, and I'm not familiar enough with the software to bring in the audio. It's always a learning process, folks. I think we have been getting better with these broadcasts, and hopefully we'll continue to get better still in the months and years to come. As Darren was asked to draw on top, and I think that's a pretty smart call, as it's going to park it right on top. A slight tap, but it's hard to ask for a better shot from Darren Campbell, Taco Bill aficionado. It's like one of those jokes where like they go over a person's accomplishments and it's like, oh yes, he has a diner's card, which has some cachet for a generation or two ago, but not so much cachet for, let's say, Gen X and beyond. And I'm technically Gen X, and I don't really hold much regard for the Diners Club. No offense to anyone who is a member. So, looking to draw. This is a little light. It's also on the guard. Maybe had to mark that as a bit of a miss from Justin McBride. I think that's his first miss of this game. It was light as well, although it does open up a final shot. So there is a silver lining. I don't think that was the shot he wanted, though. And just watching some of Justin's games this weekend, on some of his draws, he's been a little light, especially when it came to the hammerstones. And it might just be a matter of finding the right balance and also knowing where the miss is. The best curlers kind of talked about, what's the way to miss because ideally you make your shot, but if you don't make your shot, what are the plan Bs, Cs, and Ds? So the broom is down for, I would think, a heavy tap. I think another tap back. That's my guess, just kind of based on what they were looking at. They were looking at maybe tapping back, and they're sitting one right now, but they don't want to store one. When you have the hammer, you want to store two or more points or prevent giving up a huge steal. And so I think McDonald is set up to do a tap back to create some space so she could put another stone in with her last to count two or more. And this is going to tap, and it taps the blue back slightly, but blue does remain second shot. The shooter does roll wide right, is not going to be a factor. And so now McBride looks like they're lining up like a hit of some sort. This is dangerous though, because if they make the yellow go away, that could open up the blue to be tapped back, and then that might bring those other yellows on the edge of the forefoot. So they're not going for a hit. I think they're just going for a tap. They may have been looking at the best angle to bump that stone to. And so based on where Blasky has the broom, I'm going to guess they want to hit the stone towards the top, the outside right, if we were facing the house, and then kind of tap that yellow um, to the back forefoot out of scoring position, and then hopefully stick around to be sitting one and two. They, I don't think they want a lot of weight with this shot. And this is Justin McBride's last without the hammer here in the third end. Sweepers are just walking the rock. They could also be going for a freeze. Now they see how the stone is moving. So if they do a freeze, they reduce the storing area and make it harder for McDonald's to store those multiple points. And that was a really well placed stone there by Justin McBride. So they're looking to line something up. I think they want to Not entirely sure, but my guess is that they want to hit the yellow and kind of roll back onto the blue, and that way they would kind of get both those stones moving into a place where McDonald could score two, maybe three. This is the last rock from Andy McDonald, the hammer, sitting one, trying to get more. So blue, yellow, blue, and that is three. Wow. They hit the stone in a place I wasn't expecting, but it definitely worked out for them. So after blanking the first two ends, Andy McDonald cashes in with a three spot in the third end. And we will see how Justin McBride responds when we come back to the 2026 Mixed Fours Playdowns on the curling.gg network. So as we get started with this fourth end of a possible eight ends of regulation, definitely want to give our thanks again to the sponsors. And also thanks to our volunteers and the host club at San Francisco Bay Area Curling. Um, it's a five-sheet venue, and it's been great that they've been able to accommodate us all weekend long. Also, the volunteers have been just superlative, and we definitely appreciate coming back. And we hope to come back for more. I do know that San Francisco is change or kind of reinforcing its open policy for people of all genders, and so this trying to change how we have competitions here. But I hope there's a way we can still come back. Um, don't want to get too political. So, but definitely understand the stand that San Francisco is taking. Definitely, we support our clubs at MoPac, and hopefully, we can find a way to um, accommodate everything. It's tricky though, as Brian's first rock appears to be a guard. Looks like it's just outside the zone as we have Amy deliver her first rock. And it looks like McBride is putting up a corner guard. That's fairly high. Should be able to draw around that pretty easily. As we have Brian get set for his second rock. Brian's been curling for 11 years. Uh, he has a lot of experience under his belt as he, I think, tried to draw around, may have tapped. I'm not quite sure. The shot looks good though, nonetheless. He's been curling for 11 years. He's been to mixed playdowns several times before. Went to mixed nationals in 2022 and then placed fourth in 2023. As we see Amy's second shot, Amy has been curling for 7 years. Was a champion at the recently concluded Women's Club Playdowns. Was also third place in 2025. and went to club nationals, pardon me, for the women's field in 2024. Also recently competed at the U25 Junior Grand Slam of Curling up in Canada, and also went to the Great Lakes Curling Association U18 Playdowns, and went to nationals that year after finishing second. As we see Jennifer Collins get into the hack. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by curling.gg. Curling.gg is growing fast and has partnered with Jamie Sinclair from the Curl Up with Jamie channel to bring more curling insight to fans everywhere. Curling.gg. So it looks like Amy drew in with her second. Tried to go around the guard, I believe. So McDonald's sitting through like 1, 3, and 4 in the house, and McBride has the second stone. McBride is looking for areas to put rocks to try to generate a multiple point score. As we have Cameron Ross step into the hack. Cameron's been curling for 19 years. Went to club nationals in 2023 and 2024 as he hits one of the yellows out. I sounded like I was about to sneeze because I just sneezed. My allergies came in yesterday. Cameron was able to hit out one of those stones. So it looks like Jennifer is being asked to hit out the blue that is in the top 8 foot. Jennifer has been curling for 3 years, as it looks like she's going to make this hit, and she does. The shooter rolls on top of the yellow in the top 4 foot. So Jennifer's been curling for 3 years. Last result at this competition was third place in 2023 on Team McDonald. Also went to the U.S. Women's Curling Association National Bonspiel. Was a third event winner and was also a winner at the Donna Perky Classic. That's a women's event at Coyotes. Also won the Fall Fiesta at Coyotes in 2024. And a third place finish at the Indy Patriot in Circle City in 2024. So looking for moving some granite. He runs the yellow back onto yellow and jams. So yellow is still shot. The shooter sticks around for second shot. Cameron, before we move on from him, uh, he's been to Club Nationals, MoPac Club Playdowns in 23-24. Also went to the Junior Nationals in 2010, 11, 12, and 13, and went to the Junior World Championship in 2012 with a fifth place finish. As we see Darren Campbell, Taco Bell aficionado. If you know anything about Darren Campbell, apparently he loves his Taco Bell. Uh, his shot is away. Looks like drawing around. Interesting. I don't know if that's where they wanted the rock to go, but it's not a bad place for it. McDonald's sitting 1, 3, 4, and it's going to be tricky for McBride to get that out. He could try the double, hit that center yellow at the right angle back onto the yellow, the shot yellow, and get those both moving, and then leave the blue. That would be almost a surgical precision, but we've seen similar shots all weekend long. This is the fourth end, by the way, folks. Sorry. So I think they might try to take this double on as we see Claire deliver her first rock. There's a second stone on the outer 12 foot, so the rock didn't hit the exact way they had wanted. It was close, I think. So we see Darren get set. He's been curling for 4 years. Lots of accomplishments on under his belt. Uh, Coyote Wild. He's the pride of Coyotes. Any curler that does well from Coyotes, I just like to say they're the pride of Coyotes, pride of the club. But he does definitely does have some accomplishments under his belt. Um, Winning several 500 competitions, including the 500 under national championship in 2025. As we see his stone, looks like a high guard. Can't get any higher. Kind of reminds me of like a song from the 60s or 70s, or even what that Creed song, like ba now, gonna take me higher. All right, that's all I'm gonna sing today. That is a guard. So we see Claire, her second shot, and Claire uh, was the pride of Coyotes. She came to MoPac and curled at Coyotes. She finished her schooling there and went on to some postgraduate work in the Bay Area. So now she's in San Francisco Bay Area. She makes that hit, and the shooter sticks around. So good second shot there from Claire. So Claire, some of her experience was the recent MoPac Women's Club champion. So she is going to be representing our region at nationals. Right now, McBride is sitting two. So very quickly, this end has turned. Lots of, I think the shot selection has really stepped up in the past couple ends as we see uh, teams making some really good shots. They're not overly complicated shots necessarily, but if you keep it simple, that's I think a good way to play. As we have Andy McDonald with her first without the hammer here in this fourth end. So they were sweeping really hard, and they managed to make the hit and roll under cover, and that looks really pretty solidly covered. I can't always tell from the overhead camera, but I can tell. Great shot there from Andy. So as Justin McBride slides into the hack, he's won MoPac Club Playdowns 4 years in 2011, 18, 23, and 24. Notice one of his favorites, Bonspiels, was playing in the final at the Hollywood Blockbuster in 2022 against Canadian curler Brendan Botcher. And if I had a chance to play with him, I would definitely say that was a huge accomplishment. Um, Sweepers are really on this rock. Trying to get one of the yellows to move, clip the other yellow, and that will go through the rings out of play. So that is a double takeout brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Good shot there from Justin. So we could be headed for a blank here as well. It looks like McDonald's trying to try to blank, try to take out that yellow, sorry, take out that blue, sit yellow shot, and then I think force McBride to try to make a tricky shot or draw for one. Andy McDonald has been curling for quite some time in her young life. She went through college at Arizona State, I believe, and at this event, she advanced to Mixed Nationals in 2023 and placed fourth. Also competed in 2022. Has also gone to Mixed Doubles Nationals. And she won the Crush, the one country bonspiel in 2022. That rock didn't get there. Not quite sure what happened. But that does mean that McBride, I think it crashed on the. Did it crash on the guard? Okay, it crashed on the guard. That's what happened. Sometimes I'm yapping and I don't see what's happening. So McBride has an open draw to the anywhere in the house for a second point. So before well, as his shot's underway, just to let you guys know that Justin is the campaign lead for OC Curling's dedicated ice committee. Pardon me. And they are working to establish their forever home. They signed the lease on a facility about 10 minutes from the John Wayne Airport in Santa Ana, and they are looking for support to. Oh, wow! They split the top blue into the house for a third point. So I didn't see that. My gosh, that's why I'm in here and they're there. So at the fourth end break, we are tied at three, and we're going to take a 5 minute pause. And McDonald will have the hammer in a tied game when we come back to the 2026 MoPac DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships. So before we take our break, just to let you guys know, OC Curling is fundraising for their dedicated ice to establish it in Santa Ana, California. There's more information at ocdedicatedice.com. That's ocdedicatedice.com. And we will take a pause in the action. We'll be right back. And as ongoing coverage of this event is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Visitors to the site can find their favorite men's or women's competitive team and see how they rank against the competition across the spectrum at doubletakeout.com. This event is also being brought to you by curling.gg. Curling.gg just launched a new beta feature that lets you upload photos and recreate real curling scenarios. Check it out and give it a try at curling.gg. And by Endgame Curling, elevate your game at Endgame Curling. Learn more at endgamecurling.com. And we will be right back. Rocks in Play. We are underway here at the 2026 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships. This is your host Ryan with the second place tiebreaker at the Mixed Fours Playdowns on the curling.gg network. As we saw just a bonzer shot from Justin McBride to split two stones into the house for a total of three to jump back into this game. We were all square now at 3 after the fourth hand. So we are seeing the opening rocks from the leads. This is the second stone from Amy. This is going to hit and I think roll into the rings. Does roll open on the other side of the house. Good shot still. As we see Brian Feldman Jr. with his second rock, I think looking to hit and roll under. So looks like a pretty good hit. And oh, beautiful roll. I think just maybe pokes out the other side. Still a good shot there from Feldman. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by Endgame Curling. Take your broom on the road with ease with the Endgame travel handle. Endgame's 100% carbon fiber three-piece travel handle is built for convenience and fits most carry-on luggage. Plus, it's compatible with heads of other broom brands. Elevate your Bonspiel game with Endgame Curling. Learn more at endgamecurling.com. And Cameron was able to take out that McDonald stone. Looks like he ran back the blue onto the yellow. As we see the next rock from Jennifer Collins head down the ice. And this looks like it's going to be a hit. It's going to hit the guard, which will open things up. And then the shooter's going to roll to the back of the house, hang around on the back of the sheet, but not really be a factor. So with McBride sitting one, I think Cameron's being asked to just draw. Sweepers are called off. Just letting it kind of coast into place. And that is going to end up right in front of the shot rock in the top 12 foot. So good draw there from Cameron. Maybe a smidge deeper perhaps than they could have placed it. But I always say the line's a crucial part, and I think that was accomplished. As Jennifer's next rock is away. Looking for some more granite to move, and she does take out that front stone that Cameron just put up. So good, two good takeouts from Jennifer. So Claire's shot was at guard, very similar to Cameron's, just a little higher up, so that to make the run back just a little bit harder. And we have Darren in the hack. Darren's Taco Bell order, by the way, given it a couple times this weekend, but just jot it down. It does peel the guard. Your shooter rolls away, so successful shot. Darren's favorite Taco Bell order. I don't know if it's his favorite order, but it's a cheesy gordita crunch with beans, 3 Doritos Locos tacos with beans, and a large Diet Pepsi. And I'm guessing the beans are optional. Claire's net shot is away. Going to put up the guard once more. And Claire did not give us a favorite Taco Bell order. And that looks like it's a guard once more. So another good guard from Blasky. I can say almost certainly that no other player gave us their Taco Bell order. Peels the guard. So um, the shots have been pretty similar, but this is all building towards McBride trying to steal or kind of junk up the house to make it harder for McDonald to get multiple points. McDonald wants a clean sheet. If she can't find places to hide or put rods, I think she wants to try to blink if she can. I guess the other thing to note is that I do think McDonald would have hoped to have doubled out that blue in the house. Just hasn't happened this end. Looking for another guard. This is a little on the light side, as it will turn into a middle guard. If you are using the Furby system for dividing the curling sheet into zones from 1 to 10, 1 at the top of the hog line, the 10 being the back line, that is a 2 guard. The guard zone is divided into thirds, 1, 2, 3. The top of the house is 4. The top of the 8-foot is 5. The top of the 4-foot is 6. The T line is 7, and then 8, 9, 10. And then you might hear people say 11, and that's just kind of like a bonus zone between the back line and the hack. So another guard put up by Justin McBride's rink out of OC Curling and San Francisco. And we are going to see McDonald try to do the run back. Run back double is a shot call. And does peel the guard. Sorry about the rapid trigger button, but does peel the guard. So Claire already has the room down. We kind of know the shot call here. Uh, we'll try to put up another guard and then kind of force McDonald to draw for the single point. So well played and by McBride to likely set up the force. He hasn't delivered his shot yet. So the weight looks similar, maybe a smidge lighter than the last one. And like I always say, the line is the most important part. It does not get over as much as I think they would have hoped. It is a little higher, just by a couple feet, honestly. But you can see where Darren has the broom that the shot stone is open, and all McDonald needs to do is just smack it on the side and roll away for the game's third blank of this competition. This is the last rock from Andy McDonald, the hammer, looking to hit and roll away for the blank. Gonna hit. It's not gonna get away. So a hit and rolls to, but remains in the house for the single point. So not a bad outcome. Uh, it's definitely better than giving up a steal. So with that, McDonald will take a 4-3 lead into the sixth end. I'll take a pause in the action. We'll be back when we continue with our coverage of the 2026 DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships. We are back at the 2026 Mixed Fours Playdowns on the curling.gg network as Feldman Jr. put up a center guard. The no-tick rule applies, so McBride cannot tick that off the center line until after the fifth rock of the end. And Amy was able to draw around, as we see Brian, I think, looked to try to draw around on the other side. McBride is currently shot on the right edge of the button. This rock is looking pretty good. McDonald wants to park right on top, but you can see how it just, once it starts to slow, it hits the brakes pretty fast. Still not a bad shot, though, there from Feldman. And it is McBride that wants Amy to draw on top of that. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by curling.gg. curling.gg is growing fast and has partnered with Jamie Sinclair from the Curl Up with Jamie channel to bring more curling insight to fans everywhere. And that rock hits the brakes as well a little early. I don't know why that was funny. Thank you all for tuning in to our championship curling season. We had club playdowns for men's and women's at Coyotes last month, and we have mixed fours this weekend, and then our season continues in 2 weekends at Curl Vegas for the 5 and under Bonspiel, and then we will have arena playdowns at some point also at Curl Vegas. I'm not quite sure of the dates, but all of that information will be posted to the MoPac Facebook page, including registration information when those events are open. Registration is closed for the 5 and under, but we definitely appreciate you tuning in. We also definitely appreciate seeing all these teams from throughout the region compete and have a chance to be the best. We have usually have a good number of signups, and that allows us to often get a second berth at these events. So Cameron clears the front of the house with a double takeout, brought to you by doubletakeout.com. So looking at the situation in the rings, McBride is shot. McDonald is in front of that roughly, and I'm curious about what they might be trying to do. So they could try to peel the guard. They could also draw on top, like draw on top of the shot stone. McBride has the hammer this end, so they would like to, I think, minimize the scoring possibilities. The broom is down for, I believe, the draw. So they're going for a guard. I thought they were going to go into the rings, but they opted for the guard, which does complicate things. I guess they wanted to make sure that McBride could not pick out that McDonald yellow. Um, Looks like he might want to try to run the blue onto the yellow. This is kind of tricky since I can't hear the players on the ice. And Ross's second stone is away, looking to, I believe, a raise takeout. So we're going to have the raise, but not the takeout. The shooter's going to roll across the house out of play. And Campbell's quickly in the hack to, I believe, draw and maybe tap the yellow up, the yellow that's in the top 8 foot. Really yelling for sweep, and it actually ticks the guard. So now McBride has that opening to clear the yellow. as Claire gets into the hack. Some of Claire's other accomplishments include being the MoPac Mixed Champion in 24. Also 23, they went to Mixed Nationals in 23 and won silver. And she also went to Club Nationals in 2022, winning bronze. Looking to pluck this yellow out without jamming, hits and rolls just in front of the shot blue on the tee line. It doesn't quite protect the shot stone. If McDonald wanted to draw on top of it or just take it out. That was a good shot there by Claire. McDonald looks like she's lining up a very tricky shot. A long race takeout, yellow, blue, blue. If they make it, this will be one for the shot of the week. Sweepers are holding on to it, just over curled for what they wanted. It doesn't help them, unfortunately. It actually ends up protecting the shot stone. So McBride is looking to kind of sit another one in the top of the house on the right side or closer to the center to prevent McDonald from easily drawing or try to throw takeout weight down the middle. So just that was a tricky call, kind of gutsy. Yeah, just not there though, unfortunately. So looking for the top 12, kind of protecting the shot stones. This is going to go a little deep. Ooh, goes a little too deep, I have to say. And I say that. See how I have these conversations with myself? I say that because it sets up a double now on those stones in the top of the forefoot and on the button. So if it was a little higher, it would make that double harder. But now Andy McDonald can make a play on it. And we've definitely seen Andy make Bonzer shots before, and this could be a Bonzer a Bonzer shot for the ages. Um, Although it looks like they might be trying to line up the yellow rays again. Um, that blue that Claire just put up might be a little protected. That might be why they're looking at taking on that yellow and trying to raise it. This is Andy's first without the hammer here in the sixth end of a possible eight ends of regulation. Just peels the yellow. Hmm. This could be shaping up to be a big end for McBride. I say that as they're sitting three in the house. I'm curious. I don't quite know some of the strategy that McDonald was thinking. I'm just a club level curler, so I would think about just like cleaning out some of these blues that were in the house. But maybe they're not accessible. This view is kind of tricky to tell some of the lines. And it does clear the front, so she does have a shot for her last. So it looks like McBride wants to put up a guard or a front stone, and then McDonald, I think, is going to have a pretty tricky draw. Not too tricky, but it basically needs to bite the full forefoot to cut McBride down to one and kind of force McBride to try a tricky shot if he wants to like break open the scoring in this end. But Justin is set. looking for a guard or front stone. Looking like the biting the top of the house is the call. Supers are just walking it down. And once it starts to slow, it'll hit the brakes, but it hits the brakes right just in front of where Blasky had the broom. So good shot there from Justin McBride. So I was going to say McDonald could draw to cut McBride to one. The other way to cut McBride to one is to double those blues out, and that is where McDonald has the broom to try to hit the blue, the outer blue onto the other blue, do those both moving, and then leave only one blue in the house. But then we've seen McBride split that top, that blue that's just outside in for a third point. So that might give McBride a chance to do a brilliant shot twice in the same game. Andy's shot underway here in the sixth end. Gets both of the blues moving, but not enough to get the second blue out of the house. Just one blue goes away. So McBride has a draw for three, just a touch paint. But he also has that split, and we've seen how he likes the split. I was thinking of banana splits all of a sudden. It might just because I'm a little hungry. Uh, I have to say the weather's been fabulous here this weekend. I've been able to do a decent amount of walking to and from the club as needed. Sometimes when the weather's a little bad, I definitely, maybe do ride share. But the walking's been solid. The weather's been a little chilly, but not too bad, especially during the day. And we will see if Justin McBride might be able to start to put this game on ice with three, maybe four here in the last of the sixth end. I think going for the split. Looks like it needs to come over just a little bit more. And it comes over just enough. And that is the second split of this game to take to take a 7-4 lead. And my goodness, Justin McBride with the finesse shots when he needs them. So I guess McBride can score, but he can only score fours, which, well, he scored three the first time. He can score threes or fours. So McBride will take a 7-4 lead, but McDonald will have the hammer when we come back to the 2026 doubletakeout.com MoPac Championships. As Amy gets set, it's been a while since I have mentioned this, but we are on sheet C or 3 because both teams, McDonald and McBride, played their last game on either sheets A or B, which are our usual sheets for streaming from San Francisco. Uh, it's great that we do have the camera option to pan over to sheet 3, but that's also why we're seeing the views that we're seeing. So just wanted to let you guys know that as we saw Amy draw into the Looks like the 4 foot, as we have Brian Feldman putting up a corner guard. McDonald is down 3 with 2 ends to go. As that corner guard is successful. So McDonald, McBride, there's a lot of MC names in this field. We also had a McLean in the tournament. McBride is going to put up another stone into the rings, probably a front stone. Has a ways to curl, and that does settle in the top 8 foot. And McDonald is ignoring that, needing to generate some offense by putting rocks in play. Is having Feldman draw and put up another corner guard. Maybe draw around into the rings. We'll see. Another corner guard it shall be. So Team McDonald has 2 corner guards to utilize. We'll see if they'll be able to bring them into play. As it looks like McBride wants to put up another front stone. I think really to kind of close down access to that side of the sheet to make it harder for McDonald to actually use those corner guards. That's a lot of ice, though, based on where McBride has the broom. That looks like it's going to be about 5 feet of curl, which it might be possible for Cameron Ross. Claire works to try to push it as far as she could and ends up pretty close to where Justin wanted it. So the 5 rock rule is over, and so McDonald wants to see some hit and roll action from Jennifer Collins. Looking for hitting the inside of the blue and then rolling under the protection of those corner guards that that Brian put up. This is looking like it's trying to clear one of the guards, and then the shooter is going to roll under, but not. Ooh, it curled back, but I don't know if it got enough to bite the house. So now Justin can either clear stones or he's looking at clearing those stones, or he could put another stone in, but he's looking at clearing. And also, if he clears the right way, he can hit and roll and put another guard up, just based on where he has a broom. That seems to be what they're trying to do. Lots of weight on this stone. Trying to hit. Oh, just 2 of the yellows moving, and one of the yellows sticks around, the other goes away. The shooter also goes away. So not a double takeout. Brought to you by doubletakeout.com, but a good shot nonetheless from Cameron Ross. So we don't necessarily see a lot of second place tiebreakers. I think kind of the thinking might be that teams might not really have it in their hearts to play for second place, even though this could be a berth for nationals. That might be the difference here, is that we do want to see the second place team, so then we can see if we can send them to nationals. But both teams have been playing their hearts out, and I think that definitely underscores the importance of this game. Uh, Sometimes some teams are just, kind of either, play a little loose or just play without much care. But we can definitely see both these teams are playing all out, and it's been fun to see. Lots of different strategies uh, deployed by both teams throughout this game as Jennifer drew in. Not quite buried. There's not much cover from that corner guard anymore. As we see Claire shot away. Looking to hit and roll on the rock that Jennifer just put up. Cleaning now. Looks like it's on target. Going to hit, and they're going to try to push it. And does protect that shot rock. McBride is sitting 3. This is a kind of a similar setup to what McDonald faced in the last end, although minus the front guards. That was a great shot there from Claire. So based on where the broom is, McDonald would like to draw. Basically, the situation here for McDonald is down 3. I think needs to try to score 2 with a hammer here in the 7th, 2 or 3, and then steal the last end to tie or to win. And if there's a tie, we play as many ends as necessary to resolve the tie. It's sudden death by end. So if one team scores, the game's over. But if no team scores, we keep playing until the game ends. That seems like a pretty good setup shot for McDonald. I think McBride will just maybe like to get that yellow to go away. They could also just put another stone in. Uh, they're taking their time to look at the situation. So making the stone go away, I think made some sense to minimize McDonald's scoring opportunity, but I think they also want to make it harder for McDonald to score at all, and I think that's what they're talking about. So make the yellow go away. McDonald can't score as much, but it makes it easier for McDonald to get into the house later. So if they put up a guard, McDonald will have to take time to clear that stone, although you can't guard every approach. So the tricky thing here is that that blue right in the A and Latina um, could be used to double stones out. So I think they might want to try to. You can't block every path. That's the tricky part. But the broom is down for a guard or front stone. We'll see where Claire places it with her last here in the 7th end. Going for the clockwise rotation. It's an out turn for a lefty. In turn for the righties in the crowd. So this looks pretty good for what they're trying to do. Uh, by putting another stone in the rings, McDonald can't clear them all. And also, I mean, she could double, but then McBride would still be sitting 2 or 3, maybe 1. Uh, McDonald could run the yellow forward. That was a great shot there from Claire. And just a tough situation for McDonald here. As Campbell gets set. Looking to, I think, run the yellow up into the pile. Does get one of the blues through the back of the house, but not out of play. So there's a second yellow in the house, but the order of stones right now is McBride 1, 2, 4, McDonald 3, and 5. So that definitely does change things up a bit. And we are to the skip stones here in this seventh end. Coverage of this end is being brought to you by doubletakeout.com. Looking to, I believe, hit the yellow out. That was the yellow that was raised. So the yellow that's in the top 8 foot as a Justin shot is away. It's coming over. Going to get the yellow out, and then the shooter's going to roll into the pile to have McBride sitting 4 once more. Good shot there from Justin. So McDonald is in a bit of a bind here, facing 4. The best I think you can really do here is try for a skips deuce to try to be sitting 2 at the end of it all. That's kind of one of the goals for this end is to score 2 or more. That's not off the table yet, although Justin McBride and his rink are going to make it very, very hard for Team McDonald and her rink from Coyotes Curling and Wine Country. I just like saying the word rink. As McDonald gets set for a draw on top. I think like a hit and roll is the call. Wants to hit the inside of the shot stone and roll under into the pile of blues and then see if they can generate something with their last based on what McBride does with his last rock. So this is close. It's going to hit. Oh, they wanted to, I think, roll under if they could. So now I think McDonald is shot. McBride, I think, doesn't want to give up multiple points. So do they just put up a blocker and prevent or force McDonald for a really tricky draw for the second point? They could try to hit it out, but it's pretty dangerous, especially with that yellow in the top 12 foot. So both Claire and Amy pointed towards the top 8 foot to put up a front stone to block an easy draw. McBride, I think, is looking at the takeout, opting for the draw. I guess the other thing that they could do is do a heavy draw. If they do a heavy draw and tap that yellow to the back 4 foot, kind of even on top of the back blue and the word curling, that could be a possibility. Based on the broom they're taking, though, they're going for that front stone guard. It makes sense. This is Justin McBride's last without the hammer here in the seventh end. Looking for a front stone to hopefully close off the draw path or minimize the chances of Team McDonald from scoring multiple points here in the seventh end. This is over curling. Oh my goodness. So this gives McDonald an opportunity. McDonald is sitting one, has the draw for two, but they would need to basically draw full button or bite the button, pardon me. These rings can get a little tricky sometimes. It's not really an easy way to. I wonder if she was looking at maybe tapping as a backup. But she's sitting one, has a chance for two. The question is, how do you get that second point? Just looking at the stats, Justin's thrown 14 stones. He's generally been on fire, although he's had a couple misses. I think just coming up a little light on draws twice, and then he threw a guard that was not online. Those were the misses. Uh, Team McDonald, Andy, again, she's been pretty solid. She's had a handful of, she had one outright miss and then just like three half misses. And that's after, this is her 14th shot. And it's a shot for two. Looking for the touch of the button for the second point. It looks like it's going to be close. And Claire jumps on it to see how far it'll go. And it hangs on for the second point. I think we've only seen one measure this weekend, so we might be due for another. That draw was beautiful there from McDonald to get that second point. And she draws within one as we are about to head into the eighth and final stanza of our Mixed Fours Playdowns. Our curling odyssey is about to conclude. We will see if Odysseus is able to return home after this. It's been a while since I've read the Odyssey. So as we're about to get started with this end, coverage is being brought to you by End Game Curling. End Game Curling. Elevate your game with End Game Curling. Endgame's 100% carbon fiber brooms feature either a 7.5 or 9-inch head, use eco-friendly fabric, offer adjustable pivot resistance, and provide a unique locking sliding position to help you deliver with confidence. Reach the next level with Endgame's leading edge curling brooms and learn more at endgamecurling.com. So this is the final act, barring an extra end, as we saw Brian Feldman put up a high center-ish guard. We have McBride asking Amy to, I think, try to draw around that with her first. So the situation here is that McBride uh, basically needs to keep an open house to either score one or blank. A blank wins the game as well. It's always interesting when you see a game end on a blank. Okay, so they actually were trying to tick the guard because that guard was not on the center line. So they tick the guard and the shooter gets deflected. they've not been trying to tip the guard, but that's what happened. That guard is on the center line, but it is not. The no-tit rule does not apply because the no-tit only applies for when the rock is first put on the line, or the first, the rock's initial placement would be the better way to put it. So this shot hogs. He was a little light, which is not helpful to McDonald. It's not a terminal outcome, but obviously makes things a little trickier for her team trying to steal one to tie, two to win. So we have Amy in the hat. This is going to be a little heavy. Going to settle in the back of the house if it sits down. And it does not. So two misses from both leads in this last end. So almost like a no harm, no foul, I guess. As we have Jennifer deliver her first for Team McDonald. And that is another guard. That is the fifth rock of the end. So McBride could start choosing to peel the guards if he wanted to. I guess he's worried about a possible jam. Don't blame him. But the broom is down for the peel for Cameron Ross's first rock here in this eighth end. Thank you so much, everyone for tuning in. Championship Sunday is always fun to be here for, uh, especially these teams that survived, the gauntlet of pool play or round robin play in this case. Talking to some of the teams before, talking to both teams before the games, they just were kind of noting that it was 8 games around robin, and it's an honor to play that ninth game. So I think that's kind of the right mentality that they have, as Cameron was able to peel the guard. McDonald has the broom down for a draw. So again, McDonald is looking for places to hide, to steal one or two or more, and McBride wants to keep an open sheet. So either he needs to just draw for one or a blank for the win. And McDonald replaces the guard. So we're trying to probably going to see. Oh, looks like McBride is considering. I'm not sure what he's considering. Because he pointed on the blue that's on the outside of the house on the top left or the top right 12 foot. So normally, like a lot of teams, like trade hits back and forth until the team that's down that doesn't have the hammer draws in, trying to find a place to hide. And maybe McBride is choosing to get rid of one of the hiding places and hopefully rolls under cover. That seems to be the shot for Ross's last. Or hits the guard. Sometimes trying to read the skip is like sometimes trying to read the skip's signs is playing a game of charades very poorly. And he had me completely fooled. That was kind of like he was trying to signal, driving Miss Daisy, and I was dissing, gorilla bullpen. Not my guess was off the mark. So now we are to the point where McDonald is trying to bury a stone. Time to hide, as Desert Canuck notes. It's going to go around that high guard and see if it's on. It's going to be around the guard. Now the question is, how far is it going to get? Considering how quickly the stones sit down, I would be on it pretty hard. It doesn't get into the rings. That was a good line, though. So McBride, there's no runs in the rings. McBride wants to keep an open sheet for the draw for the win or blank. Uh, so there are four guards right now, and I think the better answer for how many guards you want is close to zero, if not an imaginary number. As we see Claire get set for her shot, looking to peel one of the guards. Peels the blue. It just crosses on top of the yellow, kissing it. So there are now three guards in play. I think I think they were maybe trying to double the guards out, and it just ended up just kissing that top yellow, or that yellow that's about 2 feet in front of the house. So Darren Campbell gets set. Trying to try that draw again. McBride has the hammer in this end. Have to remind myself from time to time. This is looking pretty good. Gets around both guards and it will settle in the top 4 foot. A great draw there by Darren. Definitely had the weight locked in on that shot. So McDonald is hitting shot. Looks like they want to try to peel one of the yellows away with Claire's last shot here. Gonna get one, two yellows moving. The first yellow that got hit is pushed to the side, so there's now just one center guard, and that belongs to McBride. And McDonald is still shot in the top 4 foot. That was a good clearing action from Claire. So we are to skip stones here in the last end of regulation. As Campbell has the broom down for the draw. This is shaping up to be almost anyone's game in terms of this end. Because again, McDonald needs one to tie, two to win, and McBride just needs to either blank or score one. And the full 4 foot is open. McDonald is sitting one, so is in steal position. So this is shaping up to be a great end. As McDonald's shot is away. Looking to put up a front stone. Sounds like in the chat they're suggesting put one in the top 12, and that's exactly where they want it. And that is where it's going to be, just outside the house. Not too shabby. So McBride could try to take on the double. That high guard is only, I think, a minor inconvenience. And that seems to be what they're lined up to do, as Claire has the broom down. This has been a great tournament. I've been in the warm room the entire time, but I think I would have liked to have been on the ice for at least a couple games. I don't know. I would like to have been on the ice for 8 games, but I think it's been a great event. And thank you to all the teams, the organizers, and the volunteers for helping to make this happen, including our sponsors. You know who they are. doubletakeout.com, curling.gg, and Endgame. And our volunteers, too many to count, are our competitive chair, Kevin. It takes a lot of people to make things like this happen, and it's great when it does. And I definitely appreciate you as well, viewers, for tuning in as we see the possible double shape up. Going to hit the yellow, clears it, and then the shooter rolls away. So does part of the job of opening things up. I think they would have liked the double. I would have liked the double if it was me. So I they're looking at putting a stone in the top, and I think that's great. I was thinking if they could freeze, and I think they're maybe looking at maybe freezing because they can't get rid of. Well, they could maybe get rid of both stones, but if it's a perfect freeze, they wouldn't be able to. So interesting quandary here. McDonald's sitting one. They want to keep above the T line. You think maybe could they draw around all that and sit in the back and sit two? Um, I think they would like to sit two for a chance for the win, but they definitely want to be shot, and they want to make sure that they can steal at least one. So if they freeze, McBride might be tempted to just hit and make sure one of those goes away to ensure they don't lose on a steal at two. Um, so that could be part of the calculation. If they keep it high though, McBride is going to have the draw. Although we've seen McBride has had some, he's come up a little light on some key draws both today and yesterday. Um, so I guess we'll see. The broom is down. And we will see. I guess also the other thing they could do is always look for the plan B. So they could maybe try to go for the freeze, and if it's a little light, it ends up in the 12 foot, and that's great anyway. So maybe some thoughts to consider as Andy's last rock without the hammer is heading down the ice, sitting one, needing to steal one to tie, two to win. Sweepers are on it. The way it looks pretty close. Because also, again, once it digs in, it does slow. This is really close to the freeze. There's going to be about a foot and a half of separation. So now, now what does McBride do? My goodness, that was a great shot done there for McDonald. Not quite a freeze, but it worked out really well. So again, McBride does not need to score to win. He could blink the end to win, but he could also just draw for the win as well. He doesn't want to give up two because that would give McDonald the win. So do you ignore the stones that were just put up by McDonald, or do you go after them? And we've seen both teams. I mean, they've been okay hitting, but they've not been like super like on the money, able to be, automatic on double takeouts. So I think it's a prudent choice to go for the draw. They just need the full 4 foot for the win, and this is something that Skips and everyone on a competitive team practices the draw to the button. That every game starts with that. Before we start the broadcast, there's a warm up and a draw to the center of the button. So everyone practices it, everyone tries it, and this is a chance to draw the 4 foot for second place, and potentially, if there is an additional berth to nationals, be the second MoPac representative to nationals. But we haven't heard anything about that. So the broom is down. Justin McBride is stepping into the hatch, facing two, drawing for a single point to secure the win. This is it, folks. Sliding out of the hatch. Looks pretty good. Sweepers do jump on it pretty quickly. This looks like it's okay. The weight's a little light. They need to make sure it gets to the full 4 foot. Is it going to get there? Like it's going to hit the brakes right now, and it's going to stop just in time, right on the tee line for the win. Make the final 8-6. Team McBride over McDonald. That was a fine finish by both teams. Both teams gave it their all. Great to see. So, Team McBride is our second place, our silver medalists, as it were, at the MoPac Mixed Fours Playdowns. Our champion is Team Gabrielle Coleman from San Francisco. And Gabrielle and her rink are going to be going to Mixed Fours Nationals set for mid-April in Denver, and we will see if McBride will be able to join them. But that was a Donnybrook, as they say. And thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. That will conclude our coverage of the MoPac Mixed Fours and this chapter of the 2026 DoubleTakeout.com MoPac Championships. We will see you in 2 weeks at Curl Vegas for the 5 and under Bonspiel, and then also later this spring, early summer, I think, for the Arena Playdowns. Arena Playdowns. So until we do, I just want to give a thanks to our sponsors once more, including DoubleTakeout.com, uh, a unique way to view stats and insights about the top men's and women's teams from around the world at DoubleTakeout.com, and by Curling.gg, proud to be an official sponsor of Team Canada's mixed doubles champions Brett Gallant and Jocelyn Peterman, and by Endgame Curling. Elevate your game with Endgame Curling. Learn more at endgamecurling.com. So, at the end of the day, it is Team McBride, the 8-6 winners over Team McDonald. It's been a game of blanks. It's been a game of high scores and a whole lot more. A replay of this and all the other games from this event that were live streamed are available on the MoPac YouTube channel. So, on behalf of all of us here at MoPac and San Francisco Bay Area Curling, this has been your host, Ryan Olson, saying good day and good curling. We'll see you in 2 weeks at Curl Vegas. Thank you so much for tuning in.